Andrew McCart, IFLTV, delighted for the first time in a long time to speak to Mr. Dave Allen. Before we talk about this mega fight that's coming, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, I had a good session today. Bit tired, yeah. Been a tough week. We've got 9 weeks to go, and we're in that part of camp now where we're just grafting away, good running and good training, and can't wait to go home.
Well, you can't go home yet. I mean, you can go home, but you're going to be back tomorrow because Eddie Hearn said that. Well, you said to Eddie, this is what Eddie told me, that the only way you're going to train hard is if you get somebody that scares you.
Yeah.
You've got that opponent. So I missed the training session today, but how tough was this training session today? I mean, it's 9 weeks out, but how hard are you pushing your body right now?
Yeah, it was 10 out of 10 today. It was really hard. Yeah, I run last night, trained yesterday morning. So I think when you're going back to back, you're training back to back. You know, we don't train our sessions back to back, but I'm 20 stone at the minute when you're running, my legs are killing. So, but like I said, we picked MAKHMUDOV based on the fact that I would get in every day. I would be in Manchester Monday to Thursday afternoon. I would be here all week. I would run. I would diet because, and you know what? It's more than winning and losing because MAKHMUDOV's a good fighter. I respect him, and if I beat him, I'd be really proud of myself. But I know if I don't turn up 100%, there's a good chance this fella's going to knock me out in one round because of his style and how he fights. If I'm not fit and switched on, I could get blitzed in a round, and the thought of that terrifies me far worse than anything. You know, we're hopefully going to sell Sheffield Arena out for me just to send everyone home disappointed. I can't do that, so that's the real driving force behind it. I wanted an opponent that scared me. I could have boxed these other guys that, you know, on paper you would expect to possibly outbox me and beat me on points, and I didn't want that, you know. They were challenges, different challenges. This guy is someone that can take my head off, so I wanted to put some fear there. You know, the fear in MAKHMUDOV is like, I don't fear MAKHMUDOV, I don't fear fighting him or anybody because it's a boxing match, you know, it's respectful, you know, we're all nice people, but it's his style as a fighter that puts the fear in me. I know he can knock me out with one punch, I know he's going to really come and have a go at me, so, and that's really switching me on. When I've been with Jamie Knives, I've always trained hard, but the diet, the rest, it's gone to another level because I know I have to be right.
Eddie Hearn said you're strange. You're one of the strangest men he's ever met for taking this fight. I mean, I've got to agree with him. You could have built on this Johnny Fisher win, maybe got another good win, got a credible opponent, but you went in there with somebody that, like you said, could take your head off. Now, Eddie's dangling the carrot at the end of this fight. Yeah. You can land the Parker, you can land the Joshua fight if you beat him. So there's a carrot if you beat this guy. Again, strange opponent for you to pick. You picked him. Strange way of thinking. Do you agree with Eddie in terms of you're a strange guy for picking this fight?
You know what? He's a great salesman, Eddie, and I'll give him that. He's fantastic. There's a few reasons why I picked him. So first of all, it was like we're going to watch the British title after Fisher. That was the plan. I didn't really give any thought to Fraser Clark. I think we didn't really give it any thought, really. We just assumed, me and TKV will happen now. In the interim, like, we talked to boxing the European champion. He's injured. I asked Ed about Lenroy Thomas, Chris Lovejoy, and a few others. And
Would you go back to Lenroy, honestly? Is that actually won a scratch?
That was the even though he's beaten me, he's not boxed well. That was the fight in between where I think I've improved enough, obviously, from 7 years ago. Where that was the in between fight. That was the gimme back home that some people get. But I've never had a gimme really. No. So Ed said, look, you're going to have a proper fight at Sheffield Arena because we want to fill it really. It's not been, I don't think Sheffield Arena's been full for many years, maybe 10 years or 15. So I said, well, just give me a list of names and like let's not beat around the bush. I'm going on BoxRec every 10 minutes getting a new name, and you're saying, I'm not sure about that. So just give me a list. So he sent me a list. I'm not saying this list of names all was agreeable to boxing me, but it was Tony Yoka. But I'd already boxed and I had a bit of bad feeling towards from the first fight, so I said I'm not interested in him. Nelson Heiser, I said maybe. Alexis Barriere was a good fighter, but no one had heard of him, so I didn't think I could have been better at boxing Lenroy Thomas than him. Otto Wallin, a southpaw boxer, I thought that's not a good style for me. And MAKHMUDOV. So it was MAKHMUDOV or Heiser. And MAKHMUDOV's been on these Riyadh season shows, and he's shown a few frailties. Now, I don't want to say he's a bad fighter because I think he's a very good fighter. I think he'd be the best fighter I've ever beaten, but he showed a few frailties in terms of to the body, in terms of pressure, in terms of he only seems to come and fight one way, and they all kind of suited my way of fighting. So I said, we'll box MAKHMUDOV, and he said, like, are you, like, what you on about? Like, are you sure? And I said, I'm pretty sure we'll fight MAKHMUDOV. If we can't come to some agreement with TKV, because I think he was trying to still do the TKV fight, we'll fight MAKHMUDOV. And then a couple of days went by and said, look, MAKHMUDOV's agreed to it, do you want to do it? I said, absolutely, let's do it, and that was it, really.
You mentioned there that he scares you because his 20 wins is 19 knockouts, but his 2 losses have been stoppages losses against fighters, Najat Caballero and Guido Vianello, who are quite come forward, pressure fighters, go to the body, not tall and not that 6'6", 6'7" size, similar to you. Now, people have actually said to me, Dave Allen, it's like a Najat Caballero. You do start to the body and you can finish up top, or you start to the head and you finish downstairs. Is that the part of the game that makes you confident going in? Maybe not confident, makes you that bit where I can actually beat this guy because of your style of fighting against his style of fighting?
Yeah, I think I've watched him. I watched him as amateur, and the thing with MAKHMUDOV, I watched him in the WSB. I think he was Russian #1 amateur in the WSB. He beat Jose Largio, the Cuban. Like, he could box. I watched him box. I thought, fucking hell, I hope he don't turn the clock back and go back to do that, because we're in trouble. So he can box. But I watched him as a pro, and I just watched him. I thought, he's a 44-year-old Carlos Takam better than me. And I'm not sure is the honest truth, because I think Takam, even at 44, very hard man, good fighter, experience. But I thought that was a pretty close fight. Without the knockdowns, that was close. And I thought, I'm capable of doing what Takam did, I think, without hitting the canvas and hitting the body maybe a little bit better. So I just think everything that he struggles with, I'm good at. I'm not going to get knocked out in a round. It's never happened. I've boxed at the highest level. I've not been the highest level, but I've boxed people at the highest level. I've never been knocked out.
I would say Ortiz, Dylan White's a high level.
Yeah, they was the highest level, but I've never won the highest level, but I've competed.
Okay, yeah.
I've never been banged out in a round or two. I'm not the kind of fighter that's going to ever get banged out in a round or two, I think. So I just thought, yeah, we'll have it, and let's just hope he don't revert back to his old. His trainer's very good. Mark Ramsey's very clever, and I was just thinking. I was watching him. I thought, God, I hope he don't turn the clock back and go back to boxing, because if he does what he's been doing as a pro, I think I've got a chance. Definitely got a chance. I could get my head absolutely caved in as well, to be honest. But I've got a very good chance. I'm very slippery, and I'm not as good as Caballero, but I'm very slippery and awkward and strong.
You don't. And you said you've never been knocked out. Is because even though it looks like you're getting hit, you ride shots well. Do you know what I mean? You take a lot of shots on the glove. People might look at that and be like, oh, Dave's under pressure and he's getting clocked. But boxing people look at that and he's read that shot there. He's lifted his glove and he's took the shot on the glove, or he's took the sting out of the shot. That's what you're good of on the inside, and that's what gets you in. But talking about being an inside fighter, this guy wrestles bears, Dave. Did you see that video?
I seen it. I wasn't sure if it was AI or whatever. Really. I didn't really know what to make of it all. So, yeah, seen it, but...
Would you wrestle a bear, supposedly? In your training camp, I know Moss Side Fire Station... Nigel over there, but wrestling a bear is that sort of Eastern European sort of. It might be for the cameras, but again, I don't know what your fears are like, what animals you're scared of. But if a wasps, would you wrestle a wasp? No, but if a bear was there, somebody said to you, "There's a camera, Dave. There's a bear. Go and wrestle it." What would be your thought process?
I don't think I fancy it really. No, my training methods are very old school. Yeah, I'll stick to my bag and pads and press ups, I think, but. I did watch an interview with him and I thought, what a nice fella. He seemed like a nice fella, laid back, and had a bit of humour to him. His English weren't the best, but it was better than my Russian anyway. Yeah. So I look forward to it. I really am looking forward to it. We have sold a lot of tickets already.
I've seen 1,000. Is that from yourself?
Over 1,000 in 3 or 4 days. We can't get any more. I think they're all going on Ticketmaster for the grand sale for Matchroom or whatever. So hopefully we'll get some more. But yeah, it's a big opportunity for me. Really, it doesn't really get any bigger than this for me. You know, I see comments like, "Oh, he'll beat him, Caballero beat him," but I'm not Caballero. I'm not a world class heavyweight. I think I'm a good heavyweight. I think I'm a very, very good very good boxer. But obviously lack a bit of size in that, so I'm not a top class heavyweight. But if I beat MAKHMUDOV, I could be a very happy man. No one could say I'm not a good fighter, and that's what I'm looking for now at this point in my career. Really, the money's great. But if I beat MAKHMUDOV, there's no way anyone could say that I'm not a good fighter, and that's really what I'm looking for at this point.
Well, I want to touch on that for my last question, but the next question I've got to say, how much of that carrot that Eddie Hearn's dangled there, with the saying if you beat MAKHMUDOV, you're going to get the Joshua, you're going to get the ensuite, maybe a downstairs, upstairs toilet, 3 to 4 bathrooms in your house, maybe even a bigger house, Dave. He's talking about 7 figures. Again, how much of that is in the back of your mind, if anything? Is that more? Does that give you more fire in your belly in this camp to beat MAKHMUDOV? The fact that there's big fights at the end of this.
Do you know what? I did this with David Price. I pretty much agreed to fight Povetkin, and then we saw what happened there. So I'm not looking past MAKHMUDOV because I see myself as a big underdog. I was shocked when I was like made the favourite with the bookies. I was literally like, what the fuck? I was like, what? I thought, are they fucking mad? But if I was on the outside looking in and still gambling, fuck me, I'd have the fucking house on him. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, MAKHMUDOV.
Yeah, looking on the outside, I'm like, fuck me, you just beat Johnny Fisher, he's been with Cabell and that, like, beat Takam, like, I look at it, I thought, I'm an underdog here, let's do it, because, like, and I've got a deal where I can come back anyway, at British title level, I can come back around that level, so, you know, I did take the MAKHMUDOV fight, that I lose, it's over, I know I could come back, so a bit more business-minded than I used to be, but yeah, I just, the money really doesn't, the money's great, the money helps, gives me a quiet life at home. It's a lot easier when I've got money at home, do you know what I mean? Have a quiet life. But
Peppa Pig Land and all that.
Yeah, it's nice, yeah. But if I beat MAKHMUDOV and we sell Sheffield Arena out, I'd love to keep going back there with good opponents at my level. If I get thrown in with Joshua or Parker, you know, we all have a good idea I want to get mid punched in, so.
But for those 7 figures,
it is. But at the same time, if I can make really good money and keep going to Sheffield Arena and being in good competitive fights that I can win, that probably fills me with more excitement than making loads of money to get mid punched in. To be honest.
Dave, what do you make of Joshua Jake Paul talks?
It's a load of bollocks. Yeah. I'd be very disappointed if it happens. And I used to be good mates with Anthony Joshua many years ago. And I don't believe he'd want to do it anyway. I don't think it'll happen. I don't think he'll want to. Anthony Joshua's a serious guy and a serious boxing man. And Ngannou was different because Ngannou could fight. Ngannou was the MMA world champion. He's a specimen. I don't think he'll watch Jake Paul. I'd be surprised if he did.
One final one from me, Dave. I've followed your career for 9 years. There's a photo of me and you in Newcastle. I can't remember what fight, and you're in your underwear.
I remember. Yeah,
was it Brack and Money?
When I boxed Nebo.
That's it.
Ritson boxed Patera.
That's right. Yeah. That was must be about 7, 8.
Fitzy boxed Cheeseman.
That's right. Yeah. So back then, it was probably safe to say your own words that you never really took the sport that serious. You were getting opportunities left, right, and centre, and then not grabbing them with both hands. Yeah. Now you're 30. You've got kids. You've got a family. You seem to have turned that corner, and now you got more to fight for than just yourself, and these opportunities are coming. It seems like you're taking it more serious. What advice do you have for young fighters when they get opportunities like what you had as so young in your career? Yeah. What advice do you have young fighters in the game today?
Yeah, it's difficult, you know. I started boxing at 16 and I was national amateur champion, and I got a place on the Great Britain development squad. And do you know what, like, as a pro, you would be surprised how little I trained. For Nebo, Bracamonte, Nick Webb, you're literally talking like 3 or 4 gym. Like, I got that cut with Lenroy Thomas. That was March 3rd, I think, 2018. I watched Bracamonte November 10th. So that is 8 months. You would not believe. I had 5 fights. I watched Yoka, Webb, Nebo, Bracamonte, Dave Howe. I would have done less exercise than the first bloke you will see when you leave this, driving down the street.
Oscar Bevis.
Yeah, I would have done less exercise than Oscar Bevis in that time period, but I got by because I put a lot of work in. I was a good amateur and I got away with it. But I was getting beat up a level. Do you know what I mean? So, what I would say is you're not young forever. If I'd have committed, I was committed now from the age of, like, when I turned pro at 20, from 16 to 20 I was on it like you wouldn't believe. I'd have kept that going, I'd have achieved so much more. I don't ever get down about it, I don't have any regrets because I lived my life, and I didn't really have much say in it because that's how my life went. But you have to commit to this game. It's really hard. I'm one of the very fortunate ones who've done what I've done and still made something out of it. There's loads like me, and they all fall by the wayside and do nothing. So I was very fortunate, really. I was clever though as well. I knew what I was doing with social media. I could fight. I'm not a world class fighter, but I would definitely can fight and box. You have to commit to it. Yeah, you have to commit, and you have to work hard, and you have to be smart, and you have to have a lot of luck as well. I think. Yeah, you have to have a lot of luck. So I've been very fortunate. I've definitely had a lot of luck. Made a lot of good choices, and committed at the right time now. Because it would have been easy for me at many different points in my career to have finished and left the game with nothing. If the Fisher fight wouldn't have happened, I'd have been back at work now for the last 12 months. You know, I bought a property or two back home, but I'd have been back at work like everyone else. So very, very fortunate, really. Yeah, and that would have been okay because I lived my dream anyway.
Yeah.
That would have been okay. I'd been happy with it, and over the years, even like after headlining the O2 and that, I did bits of work here and there because you have to. It's not you don't make as much money as you think you do. But when you get a chance, you really have to take it in this game. You really have to because, yeah.
Short career, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm very lucky. I can't believe how lucky I am because I've blown it so many times. But if I were a heavyweight, I wouldn't have had the amount of chances. If I wasn't fucking as light, because whatever people like me for, whether they think I'm fucking mad or whether they like me, think I'm a nice fella, I wouldn't have had as many chances. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Sometimes I think, fucking hell, I'm not how lucky I am and I feel a bit guilty sometimes, but I'm doing my best now just to try and pay that back, I guess.
Definitely. Well, Dave, I cannot wait. I'm going to be there October. I cannot wait for it. I'm not a betting man,
No.
but I've said I've done a little video, and I think this is the way you fight. Like you say, I hope he doesn't go back to the boxing amateur style, that Soviet style that you're talking about when he comes to fight, because listen, great fight for you. You are a madman, I'll give you that. So that's safe to say. But listen, good luck, and I'll see you October. Thanks so much, Dave. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you.